What's up everybody and welcome back. So today I have another recommendation, except this is a why you should watch that some of you may have already seen, but I just finished it. I just saw it. I didn't even know it came out. So today I'm recommending Twilight of the Gods, which is a Netflix show that was made by Zack Snyder. 1 season so far, 8 episodes. It came out September 19th. I'm not sure if it was all of the episodes released at once because I just saw it this week. So maybe they released a few and then released others. Either way, the entire 8 episode season is out, and it's an action adventure fantasy mystery. And yes, I got those tags online. I didn't make them up. Those are the tags that the show apparently has. Now, I'm not gonna do any spoilers. I'm not gonna talk about anything like that because I know some of you may be like me and just haven't seen it yet. So I'm really gonna do this like a why you should read. So Leif is the king of the Volsung clan, and he meets Sigurd, who's a half giant, during one of their battles. The two fall in love and spend I don't know how much time together, but Leif develops gray in his beard, so I'm guessing a few years. But the two then decide to get married when Thor shows up looking for Loki, who had hidden himself in the land of the open hand giants, trying to escape him. So they go to the giant land because that's where Sigurd is from, so that they can get married, so that Leif can ask for Sigurd's hand in marriage from her giant dad. But obviously when Thor shows up, all hell breaks loose. And well, Sigurd ends the day with new nicknames like the Weeping, Blood Bride, and the Unwed. Again, I'm not going to spoil what happens or anything about the series in case you haven't seen it and want to, but after episode 1, the rest of the 7 episodes are about revenge. The whole premise is really basic, and it's a story you've seen too many times to count, of gather the band and go get the revenge. There are a few side quests, things that happen, but not too many. The story is pretty point A to B, so don't think you're gonna get a really profound story because it's not. It's very basic, which isn't a bad thing, but I'm not really recommending this for the story itself. I'm recommending it for the fun, because a lot of it to me was just that. I loved the art style and animation. As you're seeing, hopefully you agree, the art style is really enjoyable because it's animated. Honestly, it's probably the only way you could do this, but I think it looks great. I also loved the depiction of the gods' powers because those are just so cool. And I watched the fights multiple times. Like, just how they depicted Thor's powers were so ridiculously cool because it made him seem like a completely unstoppable force of nature that he's supposed to be. I mean, he was phasing through people, becoming immaterial when people tried to hurt him, calling down thunder, the whole shebang. And no one could do anything about it. Like, Thor showed up, you know it was going down, and there's nothing you can do about it. Honestly, the fights, especially Thor in particular, were my favorite part of this, hands down. I don't think it's the only reason you should watch this, but even if you don't, you should watch the fights because they're so worth watching. But I also really enjoyed the Norse mythology. Now, I have no idea how accurate it is. I mean, I knew a lot of the names because of Assassin's Creed Valhalla and God of War. Whether or not any of it is right, I have no idea, but it was super cool. And if you're a fan of the mythology, you might enjoy it for that. If you're a fan of the mythology, you might not enjoy it because of that, because it might not be accurate, like at all. I'm not sure, but as a basic enjoyer of it, I thought it was cool. Now, I know a basic story, interesting mythology, and some incredible fights and godly displays of power may not be enough for you to watch it, but to that I say, it's only 8 episodes. And as far as total runtime goes, it's like a half a day binge if you have nothing else to do or watch. But, and this is a big but, it is 100% an adult show. The fights and violence are violent, easily on the level of Invincible, which if you haven't seen that, it means you'll see a lot of people get killed in brutal ways, and quite a few entrails. On top of that, there is nudity and sex. Honestly, too much for me, and a lot of it, especially the sex, I saw as pointless and really hurts the show, because if you're like me, there's plenty of scenes I would not want to watch with others out of sheer awkwardness, and that always hurts things to me. Now, I know that this is for adults, but even still, I could understand if people were like, ugh, fast forward, or this is awkward, I don't want to watch it. I would understand that. And that's this show's greatest drawback to me. Because as far as the characters go, I'm only going to talk about the two main, being Sigurd and Leif. They're not bad. A little flat, but not bad. But Sigurd's character, especially at the end, basically boils down to I just want revenge, and I don't care who I drag down with me to get it. Which in every way is Leif, who really just wants to be like, what happened happened, let's just go home, move on, and have a life. But Sigurd's not having it, which is a shame, because Leif is literally willing to die for her because he loves her so much, and him, like others, kind of become a victim in her revenge. Now that doesn't mean you won't enjoy some of the characters. I mean, one of the reasons we love original Kratos is because he was a rage monster out for revenge, and Sigurd is that in this. No matter how detrimental that may be, which obviously leads to a pretty one-dimensional character, while others feel a bit more rounded. Now, I'm not saying that Sigurd has no character at all, but the character arc that she goes from is upset and pissed wanting revenge to upset and pissed and wanting revenge. Whereas Leif, at times, is really conflicted with what's going on because he was once known as Leif the Merciless, but he wants to be, at least now in his older age, Leif the Merciful. And her wanting revenge and his love for her, at times, is leading him to struggle with it, which makes the character feel more full. So the show does end off on a cliffhanger of sorts. Not completely to me though, because a cliffhanger to me leaves you with an, oh my god, what's gonna happen next? And this ended more with a find out what happens in the next episode of Twilight of the Gods feel. It definitely sets itself up for a second season though, and with the positive reception that it seems to be getting, I would be surprised if it didn't get a second one. All in all, I think this is a fun, turn your brain off, enjoy the ride kind of show that you'll probably want to watch alone at times, or with the right people, or else it could be very awkward. I enjoyed it though. Probably a 3.8 out of 5 for me, with fights that were easily 5 out of 5 that I will be watching again and again. That's what I think. If you've seen it, let me know if you enjoyed it. As always, links to the podcast, merch, and why you should playlist are in the description box. Other than that, I'll see all of you in the next one.